Yeah. What's poppin', YouTube? It's King Zod with another Just Different video for my Just Different people. What the fuck is a psychedelic? That's what we're here to talk about today. Now, I want to start this video with a disclaimer that this is not a video encouraging the use of psychedelics or hallucinogenic compounds. But if that is what you decide to do, that was your decision. Do not blame it on King Zod. Do not blame it on the Just Different page. Do not blame it on shit over here. I also want to put out there that I do not know everything about everything. Understand that I do research just like I want you to go do research. I hear and learn things from other people just as I would expect you to. There are other people out there speaking on psychedelics and hallucinogens that are on a higher level than me. And so I will be giving some kind of, I will give them, you know what I'm saying, the respect they deserve. And I send y'all over there to the people that I feel like I can say that I trust the information and stuff that they give, like Dr. Kalindi IE, KILINDIII is his last name. This is a long intro, I'm sorry. Let's get into it. What the fuck are psychedelics, right? If you look up the definition of psychedelics on dictionary.com, this is the definition you will get, which really don't really just tell you too much because I really feel like it's kind of shallow. It's kind of, you know what I'm saying, it's telling you that psychedelics is really just on some trippy shit, just on some you seeing and feeling shit that's not real. But let's go ahead and read it real quick. It says, of or noting a mental state characterized by a profound sense of intensified sensory perception, sometimes accompanied by severe perception distortion and hallucinations, and by extreme feelings of either euphoria or despair. My bad. Twisted me up. Okay. I feel like that definition is kind of like shallow as fuck because, like, yeah, psychedelic is so much more. So, when you look at the etymology of the word psychedelic, right? When you separate the words, the word psychedelic is an ancient Greek word and concept, okay? This is from research that I did. Psych, the beginning of the word psych, means mind or soul. The loon, where the delic comes from, means to make visible or reveal. So this roughly translates to mind revealing or expanding, or soul revealing or expanding. So this is where we get deep into it already. We already getting deep into it off rip because, okay, so if you look up the definition of psychedelic, they gonna tell you that it's nothing. It's a mental state characterized by a profound sense of intensified sensory perception, sometimes accompanied by severe perceptual distortion. Look at the words that they are using: distortion and hallucinations. So they're telling you that this shit is fake, and by extreme feelings of either euphoria or despair. But if you look at the etymology of the word psychedelic, psych means mind or soul, and then the loon or delic means to make visible or reveal. So that means that your mind is being revealed or expanded, or your soul is being revealed or expanded when you take psychedelics. Why the fuck is this not the common knowledge then? Why is this not what they're telling us? And that's why this video is called What the Fuck is a Psychedelic? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Nah, but for real though. Okay. All right, so look. All right, let's go into the next slide. I think, let's see. Okay, so what are the classical psychedelics, right? Classical psychedelics that you'll most likely hear about is usually psilocybin, which come in the form of magic mushrooms, DMT, which is dimethyltryptamine or some shit. I don't know how to say that, how I ain't got it written down. LSD, mescaline, and ayahuasca. There are different levels of psychedelics. I feel like always whenever you dealing with some shit that's going, you know what I'm saying, change how you feel or how you think, I would urge you to deal with the pure form of it. But shit, it's been proven that LSD is somewhat compatible to psilocybin. It's man-made, so of course it's never gonna be the same. It's never gonna be the thing like the same thing as the authentic. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be able to be completely compared to the authentic. So I would tell you to take the natural route and do natural psychedelics if you were looking to take psychedelics. Don't play with some shit that somebody else made. You know what I'm saying? Humans are flawed, bro. You can fuck up. Anything from nature, I don't feel like there can be mistakes in nature. Everything happened for a reason. There's no such thing as coincidence. But then you can go deeper into that with there's no such thing as coincidence with the nigga that was making whatever the fuck you bought from him, and then you took it. So if you get fucked up, maybe the universe wanted you to get fucked up. I don't know. That's your decision. I would tell you not to like buy shit off of niggas that they made and then take it and try to like go talk to the spirit realm. I feel like you can go fuck with the spirit realm with some shit from nature, because that's how you connect with the spirit realm. But that's another conversation. We're gonna get there later. Okay. How are they used? LSD, magic mushrooms, mescaline, and DMT can be swallowed, smoked, or inhaled. That's what I got in my notes. This is what I got when I look it up. Like when you're doing research, it's the shit they tell you on there. Where do they come from? Most forms of psychedelics are created in nature, i.e. Mushrooms, salvia, and ayahuasca. These all come from nature. Okay. And where we going? My bad, y'all. All right, so the trip that people talk about, usually when you hear people talk about psychedelics, they talk about the trip. The trip is supposed to be a trip to the subconscious mind, the part within you that you don't usually like deal with, but it makes you who you are. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about all that later. There's no evidence of addiction for psychedelic compounds. So basically the trip, or what you would call a trip, or whatever you whenever you go on when you have a psychedelic experience, the shit is so strong, it's so profound that it's too strong for like the human mind to really be addicted to it. Like people, they haven't found people addicted to shrooms. They haven't found people to be addicted to LSD. People take it, you know what I'm saying? They take it more than once, but they're not taking, you're not going to take LSD on a daily basis. You're not going to take shrooms on a daily basis. You might microdose, that's not addicted. We're talking about like when somebody is, like an alcoholic, or like somebody that gotta smoke weed every day. Like that's an addiction. Like there's no evidence of addiction found to be with psychedelics, right? It's found to actually treat addiction to all substances. So say you are an alcoholic, say you are addicted to heroin, crack cocaine, any of these strong things, or shit, even weed, you can take. It's been proven in studies that you can take psychedelics to change your way of thinking about whatever substance that you are addicted to and make it so you're not addicted to that anymore. This is proven. Psychedelics are not a recreational or a party drug. I wouldn't say they're not a recreational drug, because that's them niggas trying to like scare you out of using shit. Psychedelics are of nature. Like this is some shit that you can find a psychedelic literally growing down the street from your house. And so the government will try to tell you, or the system, whatever the fuck you want to call it, will tell you that you shouldn't be able to take that because we found out there's something in there that like we don't want you to take. We don't want you to have inside of you. And it's just like, well, nigga, if I found it, I should be able to eat it, right? Especially if I look at the history of it, and my ancestors have been using it for millions of years, and this plant was sacred to my ancestors. How can you tell me it can't be sacred to me? This is a conversation for later, though. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. Tio Nanacanto. That is a Mayan and an Aztec word that translates to the flesh of the gods. This is what they call mushroom in Maya and Aztec civilizations. Tio Nanacato. TEONANACATL. You can look this up. Translates to the flesh of the gods. The mushrooms, the psychedelics that we still consume to this day, for our ancestors were considered the flesh of the gods. Understand that. So that's where we finna go into all this. This is where we finna get deep into it. I was supposed to show y'all this earlier. It shows that there's not harm from LSD and mushrooms, nigga, compared to all other shit that niggas sell and give out. It's like, it's not even comparable. Look at it. Look at it. Basically everything is worse than this shit. Like, anabolic steroids, ain't that what they give you when you go to the doctor when something wrong with you? But okay, I don't know. I'm just letting you know that, like, basically They got us scared of shit that like is considered medicine to our ancestors. They got us scared of shit that is considered sacred to our ancestors. How do you feel about that? Because I know as a black man growing up in this world, when I ever heard about psychedelics or LSD, any of all this shit, like, yeah, not LSD, I ain't gonna talk about LSD. Whenever I heard about psychedelics, so let's say mushrooms, they talk about mushrooms like people that take them are crazy and they're like fucking hippies and tree huggers and all this weird shit. But in actuality, it's sacred to my people. Way before I was ever here, like this is a part of my culture that was stolen from me. And so yeah, I don't know about y'all, but I feel some type of way about it. So we finna get into the information. Archaeological, ethno-historical, and ethnographic evidence shows that throughout history, pre-Columbian Mesoamerican cultures use hallucinogenic substances in magical, therapeutic, and religious rituals. Let me read that last part one more time. Pre-Columbian Mesoamerican cultures, because you got to know that they hid so much culture. So really all we got is these like recent civilizations that we can find, right? There's civilizations that are older than the Mesoamerican civilizations. These what we would call the Hispanics or the Mayans, the Aztecs. There are people that lived before them. They were older than them, but all of that shit is hidden because they don't want us to know about that. So we going from here right now. The pre-Columbian Mesoamerican cultures use hallucinogenic substances in magical, therapeutic, and religious rituals. Your religion don't know nothing about no fucking psychedelics. They talking about Jesus gonna fucking cure everything. Mesoamerican myths and religions emphasize the role of the priest or shaman as a mediator between the physical and the spiritual worlds. Right? The priests and the shaman of the past generations were the mediator between the physical and the spiritual worlds. Shamans would take large amounts of psychoactive substances to go on their shamanic journeys. Priests and shaman, I'm about to break it down after I read it because I don't know who are watching this video and I don't know how well y'all do at listening. Shamans and priests would take large amounts of psychedelics, so i.e. mushrooms, to go on shamanic journeys, right? And it goes on to say the shaman's spirit would leave their body and go travel the spirit realm. The shaman would communicate with spirits in order to acquire knowledge about plants, diagnose diseases, or ensure a good harvest or rainy season. Psychoactive plants were believed to be associated with certain gods. This is from my notes. This is shit that they have online. I'm gonna put the articles in here that I got it from. But just think about that. Just think about how, because now we grow up in a generation where, nigga, if you got a problem, you go to church and you go tell your pastor to go pray for you to try to get you some help from, let's say you find out you got cancer. You gonna go to your church, same church you've been giving your money to all your fucking life. Every Sunday, you gonna go tell them niggas, bro, I got cancer and I might be dying. I need y'all help. And these niggas gonna go pray for you. They not gonna give you no money for your cancer treatment. They not gonna give you no money for your bills. So you're gonna be missing work or none of that shit. They gonna go pray for you. But we come from ancestors that where instead of just praying for you, nigga, whatever the fuck that mean, nigga would go to the spiritual realm. This is documented in history. A nigga would go on your behalf to the spirit realm, nigga, to the spirit realm, to where the gods are, to where everything was created, on your behalf, and say, look, my nigga up there sick. I don't know what's wrong with him. My nigga dying, and I need the answer. How can I fix my brother, my sister, whoever it is? You know what I'm saying? What can I do? This is what we used to be able to do, but now they got niggas scared of the shit. Now niggas scared of it. So let's keep going. Mayans, Aztecs, Huastecs, Huastec. I don't be knowing how to say some people's names, so y'all gotta look that shit up on your own. The Totonac, Totonac, the Mazatec, and the Mixtec people consume mushrooms. These are all different groups of people that we know in history consume mushrooms. Archaeological evidence points to the mushroom use in Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, where the mushroom stones carved to represent hallucinogenic mushrooms have been found. Shit like this. This is shit that our ancestors was making. And when I say all ancestors, I mean all people of color, because they say that we all ancestors now, right, or whatever the fuck. Like we all connected, right? All people connected. This is what our people praise mushrooms. We don't think about the culture we have with mushrooms right now. You don't hear niggas talk about mushrooms really at all. But nigga, we grew up, we are from a culture where people praise mushrooms so much that they used to make they art about it. You know what I'm saying? They used to make statues and shit about it. In Kamala Jayu, or Kamala Hayu, how is different ways to say it, Guatemala, researchers found 9 mushroom stones whose stalks, I'm pretty sure that's what this is right here. It's different stalks and shit they done found, are decorated with anthropomorphic figures. The Mixtec god Seven Flowers was depicted with 2 mushrooms in his hands. This is Xochipilli. A sculpture of Xochipilli, the Aztec god of flowers, was found in the 16th century. It has a variety of medicinal and hallucinogenic plants and fungi. So if you look at it, the plants that she are holding, I can't tell you 100% for sure or not if all the plants on here are hallucinogenic or psychoactive plants, but for the most part, that's what she was representing. She was representing the psychedelic culture of, or the psychedelic aspects of nature. That's why when they, like, you know what I'm saying, if you look at the statue, it's so much detail in the flowers and the plants and shit on her, because they wanted that to stand out, that it wasn't just a woman just sitting there. She was actually sitting there holding the flowers and the plants and shit, like, because the plants represented so much. And the reason they use a woman is because the woman is the source of all life. The woman is the beginning of all creation. Mother Earth, Gaia. You know what I'm saying? So woman represents that feminine energy that nature is, Mother Nature. That's why she was a woman holding the psychoactive plants that help you tap into the spiritual realm and tap into the healing properties and all that. This is the I don't know how to say this shit. The Tepantalira. I don't know how to say it. The Tepantala. It's Tepantitla. Tepantitla, right? This is a mural in somewhere, Tihatku and some shit. I don't know how to say this shit. Dating to 500 CE, shows the Toltec rain god Tlaloc with priest-like figures bearing hallucinogenic mushrooms springing up where his raindrops fall. So if you see in the middle, the nigga with the crazy shit on his face and all the shit coming out of him, that's a god right there. You know what I'm saying? That's the god Tlaloc. T-L-A. Well, I guess it's Laloc. I don't know if the T would be Laylock. I don't know. The T probably silent. T-L-A-L-O-C. Y'all go look it up and tell me what you find. I don't know. But if you see, that's a god Laylock right there. That's what I'm gonna call him. And then you got the Tree of Life. Damn, show all my business. Then you got the Tree of Life behind, and you see that there's raindrops falling off the Tree of Life, right? And it's raindrops really falling off of Laylock, and then you got the mushrooms growing up from the ground. That's what the people are pulling up. Those are the priests. Those are the shamans going to get the knowledge and the wisdom from the god. So you got to see that they had this shit all in their culture, all in their art. But we gonna just keep getting more into it. Ancient Egyptians. Here we finished. This is my favorite. You know what I'm saying? I love the Egyptians. I feel like them my people. I feel like I was a god. You know what I'm saying? I was on the throne in Egypt back in the day. That's just real life. Ancient Egyptians believed that mushrooms were gifts from the god Osiris, right? Egyptians displayed the importance of mushrooms in temples, hieroglyphs, and even crowns and earrings. And this is where it gets deep. Because I always wondered, why the fuck do Egyptians have these, why did the pharaohs have these long ass crowns? Like, what did that mean? Like, I don't know. Get into it and you start to find out that the reason that they crowns is long and shit is because it's representing the mushroom. Because in Egyptian culture, you had to be somebody to even consume mushrooms. So even only the priests and the higher ups, the pharaohs, the shamans, the gods, you know what I'm saying? Because they consider pharaohs as gods, right? So it's only right that who, you know what I'm saying, they deemed as the god was only allowed to eat fruit of the god, flesh of the god, because they considered the mushrooms to be a gift from Osiris, which is a god. You know what I'm saying? So they felt like they literally farmed their own mushrooms. They were cultivating mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? They have this in history. They have this documented that the Egyptian culture had got to the level where they actually cultivated mushrooms on a, you know what I'm saying, like on a day-to-day basis. And they did it so that the priests and the pharaohs would have mushrooms to eat. Written on the walls, right? Because it get deep, bro. Because written on the walls of the 4th dynasty pharaoh Yunus, it says he has eaten the red crown, he has swallowed the green one, and delights to have their magic in his belly. You got to understand, when they saying that he has swallowed the red crown and he has swallowed the green one and delights to have their magic in his belly, they're saying that because the crowns represent knowledge that comes from mushrooms, right? So there's different types of mushrooms. There's different type of psychedelic mushrooms. There's literally millions of types of mushrooms, right? And so there's multiple species of psychoactive mushrooms. And so it's written on the walls of the dynasty of the 4th dynasty pharaoh Yunus that he has eaten the red crown and he has swallowed the green one and delights to have their magic. You gotta listen to the terminology in his belly. So that when you break it down to like, okay, so their crown meant the crown represented the mushroom, right? And so if they're saying he ate 2 different crowns, that must mean that they're speaking about 2 different forms of psychedelic, 2 different mushrooms. And so he ate both of them and consumed their knowledge and delighted to have their knowledge in his belly, right? And so that basically made him a god because he knew things that other niggas didn't know because it's hidden knowledge. And so when you look at pictures like this, you can see that the pharaoh at the front has the mushroom shaped crown on his head. But then when you look at the woman to the right of him or to the left of him, it will be his right. You see she has these little horn looking, antenna looking things. Those are in relation to the dung beetle. The dung beetle or the scarab beetle were considered and that's what I'm saying. I want you to go look up Kalindi IE because he speaks better on this. I feel like I'm doing him a disservice to even try to speak on this when he has spoken on this so profoundly and at a high level. So please go find Dr. Kalindi IE, KILINDI space IYI. Rest in peace to the guy. He passed away, I believe, like 2 years ago or something. But the dung beetle or the scarab beetle was considered precious to the Egyptians because the dung beetles would, because dung beetles, their process is they go and take they take the dung, right, and they roll it up in a ball or whatever, and they put their babies, they plant their eggs inside of the shit, right? And then you got to know that mushrooms, psychoactive mushrooms, they grow out of shit. So right, so when the dung beetle take this ball of shit and he roll it all up or whatever, put his eggs inside of it, go put it in the hole. When the baby beetles come out, the only thing that is there for them to eat is the mushrooms, and they eat the mushrooms, right? They eat the mushroom. I don't know if they eat the shit, but I know they eat the mushrooms, right? And so, in a way, they considered them sacred because one, they ate the mushrooms. I'm not sure if the Egyptians would eat the babies like they ate the mushrooms as a way of like taking the psychedelics. I'm not sure. But I know that they considered them sacred because they were, in a sense, spreading around knowledge by pushing the shit around with the mushrooms inside of it. Because the mushrooms were going to grow out regardless of wherever the shit was at. So they took it to another destination by moving it around. Yeah, so this is if you look at Egyptian hieroglyphs, this is what pharaoh, I think it's pharaoh or crown, either way it's the same thing, and so it still represents the mushroom. Petroglyphs of humanoid figures wearing mushroom like headdresses high on a cliff in Chuchi Eskimo territory, where the word for intoxication literally means be mushroom. So think about it. When you go to the club and a nigga in there how drunk and he tripping, you be like, damn, nigga drunk, like nigga tripping. Or if somebody high, like nigga you high, bro, calm down. In Chuchi Eskimo territory, when somebody is intoxicated, they say be mushroomed. That nigga be mushroomed. Cause he, you know what I'm saying? That's what they deem as intoxication, is mushrooms. I don't know. Glyphs of similarly crowned figures carrying mushrooms are found in the Tassili Niger region of Sahara. So just another different, some more shit from the culture where, from the culture. Some more shit from history where, you know what I'm saying, people were fucking holding mushrooms. And if you see people that dealt with mushrooms and psychedelics, their art was always creative, and it was always crazy shit going on. Nigga finna cut the nigga head off, or he cutting his hair off or something. I don't know what the fuck going on right there. Psilocin is an exact, but yeah, if you look right there, my bad. If you look right there, you can see that he is holding the mushrooms in his hand though as well. So you can just see that this is a psychedelic community. It's a psychedelic society, and that's where you get all the crazy drawings and shit from. How you think these people drew shit with 3, 4, or 5 faces? That was psychedelic like inspiration. Psilocin is an exact replica of your serotonin molecule. These molecules bind together. So you got to understand that really, I think that this is, I got to do some more research on it. So we're going to do another video. But from what I heard and from what I've seen, psilocin might be one of the only compounds that you can take. It might be more. It might be one of the only compounds that you can take where it is a replica of your serotonin molecule. So it helps your serotonin levels. Like it connects to the serotonin molecule. It bonds with it and helps it achieve, like it helps it function better. Whereas say you smoke weed, say you drinking alcohol, say whatever other substance you are taking, the serotonin in that will attack, like that molecule attacks your serotonin molecule, and so it causes problems. I don't really, that from what I got, that's what I know. Okay, so in 2012 in London, controlled doses of psilocybin were given to adults. Scientists noticed that blood flow to the default mode network decreased. The default mode network, right? This area is highly responsible for how your mind processes information, perception, and self. This section is basically always active unless you are doing something. So the DMN, the default mode network, is basically the part of you that makes you you. This is the ego. This is the, oh, I am who I am. You know what I'm saying? I have a past, I have a present, I have a future. This is the thought that keep you thinking that like, oh man, I gotta go pick up my girlfriend after work, or I gotta go, you know what I'm saying, I gotta go clean up when I get off, or gotta go, you know what I'm saying? It's the thought that make you think into the future. It's the thought that make you think into the past, like, damn, I wish I would have did this, or damn, I wish I wouldn't have did that. This is where anxiety come from. It's where depression come from. It's basically what makes you able to have memory. It keeps you able to remember and think, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it. I might even be over explaining. I might be explaining it wrong. But just know that the default mode network is what makes you you. Is what makes you think about having a future and a past, right? Whenever you have thoughts of the future and the past, that's your default mode network. When people took psilocybin, they noticed that blood flow to this network decreased. So it made it so people felt less, like they thought less thoughts about the self. This is where all the meditation shit come from. So, because when you meditate, that's what you're looking to do. You're looking to calm the mind. You're looking to still the mind. You're looking to get the mind to basically stop thinking about the future, stop worrying about the future, stop worrying about the past, stop doing all that, and just sit in the moment, just be free, be in the present. This is where yogis spend literally years in a cave trying to figure out how to get their mind to just be in the present and let go of the past and the future, right? After running a test in 2014, they found out that when on psilocybin, that the mind would create new connections in the default mode network. The overall communication between neurons in the brain has greatly increased. Okay, I forgot to explain this about the default mode network, because the default mode network is basically what kind of creates habits. So say you get up and brush your teeth every morning, right? When you a kid, right? Because this is something they teach you when you're a kid. First thing you do when you get up, brush your teeth. So when you a kid, when they trying to teach you that, it's something new to your mind, it's something new to your brain, because your default mode network has not been stabilized. It has not been actually created, because you haven't done anything enough to I don't know how to explain it. I'm finna over explain it, because it's complicated, but it's not. Okay, so hold on. The default mode network, right? So when they took the psilocybin, they found out that when you're on psilocybin, the default mode network would create new connections. So that same thought that you would have of getting up and brushing your teeth every morning, that you would just do by habit, you wouldn't even think about. If you took psilocybin that morning or that night, let's say before you went to sleep, because you really can't sleep on psilocybin. So let's say you took psilocybin that morning before you got out of bed. You would have to think consciously, like, oh, go brush my teeth. It wouldn't just be a habit in that moment, because your mind will create new connections. I don't know. That might be the wrong way to explain that. That's why we're going to do another video on this. I'm sorry I'm not perfect at explaining this. I'm trying to do the research and shit on it to explain it in the right way. But the information on this shit is limited unless you like in somebody college or something. I'm not in nobody's school right now. I'm sorry. Psilocin makes the brain go into a meditative state, meaning no inner self-talk, no thinking of the future and of the past. Right? And so that's really what we got today, because I don't want to just, this video already long enough. I just wanted to let y'all know that psychedelics is not what they try to make it seem. It's so much more. It's used for healing. It's used to connect with the spiritual realm. It's used to get answers on problems. It's used on all kind of shit. It's not used as a drug for fun. It's not a party drug. You can use it as that. You can disrespect that drug if you want to, but I want you to understand that everything has a life to it. Everything has a consciousness to it. And if you disrespect something long enough, somebody called you a bitch enough, you know what I'm saying, you'll want to fight. So think of us as people, if we continue to disrespect this plant that our people deemed as sacred for a reason, respected for a reason. If we continue to disrespect it, what will that cause us to become as a people? What could they do to us? You know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand, it's on the molecular level. Plants can change you on a molecular level. Do research on it. Plants, when plants feel attacked, when plants feel that they are being threatened, they release certain chemicals within their flesh, within themselves, so that when eaten by something that they deem is the threat, they will have psychological changes, physical changes, mental changes within them to make them so they don't fuck with them no more. So as people, we should respect this sacred plant. We should respect fungi. We should respect psychedelics, ayahuasca, LSD, DMT, anything that you are, you know what I'm saying, dealing with on a spiritual level. I feel like you should respect. My name is King Zah. Thank y'all for coming to this long video, this long talk. If you stayed all the way to the end, I appreciate you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any requests, recommendations, anything that you want to see me talk about, anything that you feel like I didn't speak on, any information I left out, any clarification, even if I said something wrong, drop it in the comments. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to be correct. I'm not here to be right. I'm just here to bring different information.